Well, hello, welcome to my kitchen. Well, this weekend is the official kickoff to summertime. It is Memorial Day weekend and I can hardly wait. Oh, let the barbecues begin. You know, there's nothing better than my husband being on the grill. He is definitely a grill master, and me fixing up stuff in the kitchen to go alongside of whatever it is he's cooking. And today, I'm cooking up some baked beans. Now I'm just chopping up some Vidalia onion. Now I'm only using about a quarter of my onion and I'm mincing it really finely. My husband says he doesn't like onions, but I found if I mince them up really fine and cook them until they're sweet, he likes them. But the minute he sees big chunks of onions, oh, it's over. I know you don't have anyone in your life like that. But look how much this quarter of an onion made. That's a pretty good bit. Now, Vidalia onions are a sweet onion, and I prefer these in this recipe. You can eliminate the onion altogether if you want. And what I'm doing back here is I am cooking some hamburger meat. These are going to be some really beefy, sweet, and smoky baked beans. They can almost make a main dish by themselves. And I'm going to add these onions right into my ground beef. And let me show you this ground beef. I'm just gonna brown this and let these onions cook down. Whew, goodness gracious. My eyes are about to start watering. But I've got my heat on a medium-high heat, and as soon as this is done, I'm gonna drain off my fat, and then we're gonna get started on the rest of these beans. That looks good. Now these beans are a beefy, smoky barbecue bean, and I absolutely love them. And as you can see, I have cooked my ground beef in an enameled cast iron skillet. I love when I can make a dish in my skillet because it goes from stovetop to oven to counter and table perfectly. Now, to this ground beef mixture, I'm going to add a couple of things. One is brown sugar. Like I said, these are a sweet bean, and I am adding a half of a cup of brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. I like dark brown sugar the best. It has more molasses in it, and it just has a real rich flavor that we like around here. And I'm just gonna stir as I go, and I'm just gonna coat that ground beef in that sugar. And I'm gonna start adding layers. Next, I'm adding some barbecue sauce, and I'm adding about a half of a cup. Now we like a sweet barbecue sauce, but feel free to add whatever it is that you like. Whatever your favorite barbecue sauce is, use it. If you make it yourself, that is even better. But listen, I don't have the time, so I'm taking advantage of this delicious Sunnies. I love Sunnies. I wish we had them in Alabama, but every time we go to Florida, we stop at Sunnies. Now, I'm adding just a couple of dashes or drops of liquid smoke. And let's go with 3. This stuff goes a long way. You don't need much to add a lot of flavor, but it really does add a little something something. Now it's optional. If you don't have any, then don't go out and buy it for this because it's really good without it as well. Now it's time for the star of the show, and that is the beans. Now I use 2 brands. Whichever one you prefer, use. But a lot of times I'll use the Bush's Original, and I'll drain just a little bit of the sauce off of it because we're adding a lot of sauce to it. But you know, I'm a little old school. I still like the Van Camps. I think they're great in baked beans. Now I drained off a lot of the liquid, as much as I could, because as I said, we're adding a lot of liquid with our barbecue sauce, and also the brown sugar is going to cook down. And it looks like this 10-inch pan is going to be perfect. Might better put something underneath it just to make sure it doesn't bubble over. But I'm going to fold that in. Look at these. I remember the first time that I ever had these. A good friend of mine, actually, I call her my mentor in the Lord. Her name was Peggy Ritchie. She passed away last year. And she cooked these baked beans all the time. And the first time I had them, I was probably all of 30 years old. And I thought they were the best things that I had ever had. And I have been making them ever since. Peggy was instrumental in my life, in my walk with the Lord. She was the first person that taught me how to read the Bible, to truly read the Bible and get a word of God for myself and use it for myself. And she also taught me how to pray. She would bring me alongside of her and she would start praying, and she would teach me how to pray. And I'm telling you what, I know without a shadow of a doubt that she's dancing at the feet of Jesus right now, because that woman was as good as gold. She not only did that with me, but she did it with so many. And I loved her. She was old enough to be my mother. She was my best friend. Such an awesome lady. Now, I've showed you the base of this. This would be delicious with either some bell pepper or even some jalapeno peppers, whatever it is you like. But I am just keeping it simple today, and I'm not adding anything green, because if I do, my husband's not going to touch it. Now, let me just make sure that this doesn't need any salt, because it just might need a pinch. Y'all, those are so good. Oh my goodness, I can hardly wait. Now I've got 3 pieces of bacon, and I cook this bacon in the microwave. So I'm all about convenient. And I didn't want to mess up another dish. And I'm crumbling up the bacon, and I'm putting this right on top. And this is going to give it a little salty too. A little salty to go with all that sweet. And I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And these are going to cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. I want a lot of this liquid to cook off. I'm not covering them. They're going in just like they are. And I'm going to cook them until they get nice and bubbly. If you're smoking some meat, take these beans and put them right on the grill and cook them on the grill. Oh, they are so, so good. Even if you can take them out of the oven and reheat them on the grill, the smoke, it just adds the best flavor. But if not, then that's why we added the little dashes of liquid smoke. It gives it that real hint of smokiness without having to go to the extra trouble. All right, in these go. I should have put something under them. I'm going to take a chance. Well, I'll see you when they're done. I wish that you could smell my kitchen right now. It smells like I have just walked into the best barbecue place ever. These look amazing. Now, I cooked these for 50 minutes, and I'm gonna let these sit, because as they sit, some of this liquid is going to start setting up. Look, oh, I can tell these are just perfect. Oh, look at that. You don't want to cook all the liquid out. You want to keep a little bit because, like I said, they're going to get stiffer as they sit. Y'all, I have got to taste these. Might burn the fire out of my mouth, but I believe it might be worth it. Oh, that looks so good. Get a little spoon. Pull these off just a minute. You know, I told you earlier, I love the Van Camp beans. I think that they make the best baked bean, and that's because they're not already covered in a lot of sauce and seasoning. You can really add what you want to it and make them take on the flavors that you want them to. They're so good. See how that's already thickening up just as it cools a little bit? And that ground beef and the onions are nowhere to be found. Yes, that's our little secret, by the way. Y'all, these could be a meal all by themselves. You really don't need anything else to go with it. You don't want anything to show up for barbecue, but hey, these just might. You are a blessing. Thanks so much for watching today. Will you like my video and share it with your friends? The more the merrier. And I know somebody that's going to be married today, and that's my husband. He could eat these things 5 days a week. And so could I. I'll see you next time. Bye.